Hi everyone, I'm Kumar, Assistant Professor of English, Department of English, Government College of Engineering, Bodi Naiknur. In this video, we are going to see WH questions, kinds of WH questions, uh, how to frame WH questions. These are the things we are going to deal with in this lecture. Kinds of questions. There are 6 kinds of questions in English. They are WH questions, yes or no questions, alternative questions, rhetorical questions, emphatic questions, and questions tag. These are the 6 kinds of questions. WH question. First, what is a question? A question is a kind of an interrogative sentence. Uh, a question is in English that is used for asking an information. Okay, this is a request for an information. WH questions usually start with WH and how. So the WH words are who, whom, whose, which, why, what, when, where, and WH words also include the how, uh, like how far, how much, how many, how long, how old, how often, and how come. So the WH, the words starting with WH and how are also called WH questions. Framing WH questions. To frame a WH question, one must know the interrogative rules. The first rule is the first word should start with a WH word or an auxiliary verb. Okay, so this is the first rule. If you want to frame a question, if you want to frame an interrogative sentence, first we need WH words or auxiliary verbs. Okay, without these we cannot frame WH questions or any kind of interrogative question. If you look at these examples, okay, all the interrogative sentences are start with either the WH questions, WH words, or the helping verbs. So we need the WH words and auxiliary verbs to frame a question. This is the rule number 1. The next rule, if the first word is a question word, okay, if we are using the WH word, okay, it should be followed by an auxiliary verb. Immediately after the WH word, we need to put the auxiliary verb. Only then the subject and the main verb can occur. So this is how we have to frame a WH question. First, we need a WH word, when, or is a helping verb, and then you is the subject, and then we can use any kind of the main verb. This is rule number 2. So WH questions, we already know that WH questions begin with the WH words or how. Okay, WH questions are otherwise called information questions. So these WH questions require a complete information. So we cannot give a short yes or no to these WH questions. If we give yes or no to WH questions, the answer is inappropriate. For example, if you look at these examples, who are you? We cannot give yes or no to this question. Okay, so we need WH questions need a complete answer. Who are you? I am Megha. What are you? I am a teacher. Like this. So WH questions require a complete or a full information. So we should not give short answers to these questions like yes or no. The structure of the WH question. The structure of the WH question is, first we need a WH word, and then a helping verb, and then a subject, and then the main verb. Okay, this is the structure of the WH question. WH question about subject or object. Okay, we can frame a question about the subject or object in a sentence. So before framing a question, one must be clear in whether he is going to frame a question about the subject or object. So look at this example. John likes Lisa. John is subject, like is verb. Lisa is object. So we can frame either subject question or object question for this sentence, so that we should know before framing a question whether we are going to frame subject questions or object questions. Suppose if you are framing subject questions, we need to put the appropriate WH word for the subject, like who, what, which, when. When we add or when we put the appropriate WH word for the subject, we can easily frame WH questions for the subject. For example, what are you asking? Sorry, we are asking about a person. We need to add, or we need to put the WH word who in this sentence. So we can easily frame a WH question for a subject by adding the appropriate WH word. Okay, that's how we can frame a WH question. Suppose if you are framing question about object, we need to follow some rules. First, we need a WH word, we need the appropriate WH word, and then a helping verb, and then a subject, and then the main verb. So for example, what do you like? What is the WH word? Do is the helping verb, you is the subject, like is the main verb. So this is how we have to frame a question about the object. So first, if you want to frame the WH questions, we need a WH word, and immediately after the WH word we need to put the object, and then the subject has to occur, and then the main verb. For example, Peter is doing his homework. Peter is doing his homework. Peter is subject, is doing is verb, homework is, his homework is object. Suppose if we want to frame the object question for this example, for this above sentence, we have to frame appropriate WH, we have to find an appropriate WH word for the object homework. Okay, and then helping verb, we are given a helping verb in this sentence is, and the subject is Peter and main verb is doing. So the correct answer for this question would be what is Peter doing? This is how we have to frame object questions. So if you look at these examples, we can speak Italian. So Italian is the object, so we have to find the appropriate word, appropriate WH word for the object Italian. What can we speak? What is the correct appropriate WH word? Like that, if you closely observe this, if you closely read this sentence, you can easily find the correct WH word for the objects. Then once you find the objects, you can easily frame the WH questions. The thing is, first we need to find the WH word, and then we need to put the helping verb. In some sentences we may not be given the helping verbs. Suppose if we are given only the main verb, we need to split the main verb. If we split the main verb, we will get a helping verb and a main verb. With the help of the helping verb, we can frame WH questions. For example, if you look at the third sentence, I bought shoes. I bought shoes. Bought is the only main verb. We don't have, or we are not given the helping verb. So we split the verb bought. Did plus buy. So did plus buy. Buy is the main verb. Did is the helping verb. So shoes is the object. So the correct WH word would be what. So what, question word, did helping verb, you is the subject, and buy is the main verb. So like this we can frame WH questions. Suppose if you are not given a helping verb, we need to split the main verb. Okay. I have given some sentences for your practice. I have underlined the objects, and you can find the appropriate WH word for these objects, and you can frame WH questions. You can also frame questions for the subjects also. Okay. So I hope I have tried to impart my knowledge. Thank you for everyone for your patient listening.